Yes, welcome to the new Blunders set. Yes, the new Vestact offices in the Rosebank Fire Station. Awesome, no? Let's start with a trade war. Well, it looks as though this thing is not going away, I'm afraid. Both China and the US, aka Donald Trump, digging in for the long run. It's not so good, really, if you think about it. The two biggest silverbacks in the forest fighting, everyone else is going to get hurt, not to mention the bushes and the grass getting trampled.
Yep.
This is exactly what we've got, the world's number one and number two economy going at it hammer and tongs. 25% duties on everything.
Wow.
Not good, not good.
Not progressive.
Look, Trump is clearly a nut job. Sorry, did I put that correctly? A nut job. But the Chinese are not exactly guiltless either. Take a look at this chart here. It shows on the right Huawei, which is now getting itself banned in the US and in their allies with regard to the 5G networks. But look at all the stuff on the left-hand column. That's all the other stuff, US stuff, that is banned in China. To start with, we're talking Google. Imagine living without Google. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and the most recent addition to the list, Wikipedia.
Wow.
Chinese people, sorry, Wikipedia, not good for you. So I think exactly what's going to go on here. The Chinese clearly are in for the long haul. Look at this artwork, which appeared this week. That's Xi Jinping in the middle and McDonald's on the skyline. Some kind of army situation going on there. What about this Chinese retailer somewhere or other put up this sign that said, American customers, please pay 25% extra.
Wow.
If you have any problems, please consult the US Embassy. And finally, this new hot product, apparently a top seller on Alibaba. Yep, that is what you think it is. A toilet brush. A toilet brush with Donald Trump's head on it. Well, Theresa May, it seems, is on her way out.
Yep.
Brexit. The original shambles. 2 years later, they got nothing done. They can't agree on anything, and now she's out. Not that it's going to help, of course, because her likely replacement, Boris Johnson, who, as far as I'm concerned, looks like a less well-dressed Donald Trump. Like Donald Trump got thrown in a swimming pool. He looks as though he's coming to the helm. He looks like a long, tall drink of gravy, as they like to say. Meanwhile, the effects economically of Brexit have already, begun to become visible. So, for example, all sorts of prices for goods and services are rising. So in future, it's going to cost British people a lot more not to go to the dentist. Ha ha ha. And worst of all, I'm reading here, it says that James Bond movies will be, in future at least, 30% longer. That's because, in those transitions when he's moving from one country to the other, they're going to have to cut in the scenes of him trying to get through passport control with his new restricted British passport. You've heard of the term a burner phone, right? If you've watched the movies.
Burner phone, yeah.
This is a cheap phone, preferably with a prepaid SIM in it, unidentifiable, which is super cheap. Then you make calls on it, like if you're a drug dealer or if you are trying to submit a ransom note, and then you squash it up and throw it in the bin, okay?
Okay.
Well, people in Mexico City have gone one further with burner phones,
What?
aka dummy phones, yes. What these are perfectly manufactured sort of cell phone replicas. Like you can buy a dummy iPhone X. The idea is that if you get mugged on the streets of Mexico City, which happens super often, then you get forced to hand over your phone, you give them the dummy phone, right? What it is, it's a perfect replica. It has a home screen on the front, which looks absolutely perfect. It has a lump of steel inside, and it costs like 300 pesos. Sounds like a bargain. What a great idea. Apparently there they have a super big problem, which is hoods, thieves, muggers coming onto the buses and cleaning out everyone's pockets. I think this could be a big seller in Johannesburg. I see that Mr. Modi got re-elected in India.
Yep.
Well, good for him. I think it's good for him. Is he a good guy? Do we like Modi? I'm not sure. Look, India is making clear progress, but it's mixed. Did you see this story last week, which finally emerged into the public domain? India has one nuclear submarine. Well, of course it does. All serious nations must have a submarine, and if it's powered by a nuclear reactor, even better. They got Russian technology to build it. They built it in India. It's called the Arihant. They got it going after 8 years. It took them 8 years to get it floating, seaworthy and operational. They took it out on its maiden voyage, you could call it, in 2017, and somebody left the back hatch open. That's right, it started to sink, at which point it was dragged back to port and spent another 10 months getting itself refitted internally and certain pipes fixed. That's a nice modern metaphor for the state of India.